On this week's episode of Nanook Insider, we chat with senior guard Taylor Altenburg of the Alaska women's basketball team. Scott Lemley gets us ready for swimming's trek down to the Husky Invitational in Federal Way, Washington. Mick Durham previews men's basketball's GNAC openers against Seattle Pacific and Montana State Billings. And we chat with Trevor Campbell and Andy Taranto from the Alaska hockey team. Coming up on Nanook Insider.
Well, Taylor, getting ready to open GNAC play against rival Anchorage. Always a good time when you get to play Anchorage, but how nice is it to just right off the bat you get to go down there and take on the Seawolves?
The Anchorage rivalry is a big one here in Fairbanks. I know myself and the team are really excited to head down there and start GNAC play with them. It's a good environment to play in and to get us started with. The arena there, the fans, the team itself, they bring a lot of passion to the game, and it's nice to work hard and play against that. And I definitely expect great things to come from my teammates while we're there, and we've been preparing really well for this, and I think we're ready to go hook us a Seawolf and fillet it up for dinner.
Nice. It's been kind of a tough start to the year. Still looking for that first win. I mean, how do you guys, keep positive in the locker room, on the court, on the bench? How do you guys, still keep that positivity? Because even, if games get out of hand, you still got to play.
We're bringing a lot of different things to each game, and we're capitalizing on new things as well. And each game we're getting better in different areas. So now it's a matter of putting all those areas into one and playing a full 40 minutes of Nanook basketball that we know how to play.
Probably the biggest thing that we really saw out of the weekend, despite 3 losses, was the second half of the Winona game, where we held them without a point for 8 minutes, go on a 17-0 run. We hadn't done that at all this year. I mean, how nice was that to, even though the game was out of reach, you guys are able to come out and still do something like that. You guys were still fighting to the end. But
it's a great thing that we can come out and do that. It's just a matter of doing that from the beginning. And obviously it shows even when we're down that we're still willing to make the other team fight to get points on us. And, we just need to come out with that fire and passion in the beginning and just set the tempo and play our game.
We're joined by head coach Scott Lemley down here at the pool deck. Coach, it's a big weekend for your team. Head down to the Husky Invitational in Washington. You can just talk about the preparation since your last dual meets heading into this weekend.
Well, this is the 14th week of the season, so it's a good time for us to take a rest, shave, put on some high-tech suits, and swim fast. So the Husky has 977 swimmers entered. We're seated very well in the relays, and some of our swimmers are seated very high individually as well.
You do get to face some Division II teams. You also face some Division I talent. Like you said, nearly 1,000 people are entered. I mean, what do you look to get out of a meet like this over the 3 days?
NC2A cuts. I think we have the chance of also coming out of it with maybe one of the fastest relays in the country. We haven't had a chance to rest yet, so if 4 girls are on, then we'll have a very fast relay down there too.
Talk about what you got out of last year and what you learned from a meet like that with the team that you have, and just what you expect out of them, since a lot of them have been there before.
Well, last year was mostly freshmen. Benty was basically a freshman too, so they're all still young, they're all still learning, but they're talented and very dedicated. So training transfers year to year. So everything they did last year, we'll see in the pool this year, in addition to all the training they did this year. So I expect to see some smarter, more experienced, faster swimmers.
And just brought up training. Just talk about how the training has been. You guys have been in the pool for quite a bit of time now, so your girls should be swimming pretty fast.
They will be. I told them at the beginning of the year that last year I took it easy on them because they were mostly freshmen, and they actually realized that. They were expecting to work at a higher rate, and they have. So we should see some pretty spectacular swims.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you after you get back from the Husky Invitational.
Great. Thanks, Chris.
Well, we're joined on Nanook Insider by head coach Mick Durham of the men's basketball team. Mick, a tough road trip down at Bellingham, but you opened GNAC play this week, a nationally ranked Seattle Pacific team, and then Montana State Billings. So just talk about preparing for conference play.
Well, it's not exactly, the way we wanted to go into conference play coming off a road trip like that. We were pretty disappointed in our play. We showed some spurts, but very inconsistent. So, but I do think the 7 games we played during the non-conference has really prepared us. And right off the bat, you play Seattle Pacific, and so we're definitely going to have a feel for seeing where we're at. And they're very good, a lot of experience. So we definitely have to be very good at both ends of the court.
One big difference that you notice with this team, a very balanced scoring team. Last year you had like your 3 guys. Now you have your starters, any of them can score. You have guys that come off the bench can average 7-8 points a game. I mean, how nice is it to know that you have different people you can look to, whether it's a Ronnie Baker or a Dallin Bills or an Andrew Kelly coming off the bench if one of the starters is having an off night?
Well, we definitely have more depth and more guys that can do some things offensively, and now it's a matter of getting consistent so that each night we have 4 or 5 guys that can do that. And we still have some guys that aren't shooting the ball great yet, but I think they will once they get a little more comfortable. But definitely our depth, different guys that can score, get a little more balance inside and out has been great.
This is your 2nd year coaching against the GNAC. What did you learn in your first year?
Well, I learned it's a very good league, the GNAC. I think I also have a better feel going into year 2. Last year I had to learn everything about every team. This year, with all the coaches back, I have a pretty good feel for what each coach is going to do. Now you just got to look at new personnel and some things like that. As the case of Seattle Pacific, there isn't many changes, with their personnel, so very similar. But it's a league that are very well, teams that are very well coached. They do some nice things offensively, defensively, and they're consistent. They play well at home and on the road, and we're coming off our tournament where we played well, and looking forward to getting back here in the Patty Center again Thursday night.
I heard Zach Nowak say in an interview with a media person that if we're shooting the ball well, if we're playing well, we can beat anybody in the country, and if we're not shooting the ball well, we could lose to any team in the country. I mean, what is the emphasis on practice? Like going in knowing you could beat anyone if you're playing at your best, but at the same time you could lose to anyone if you guys are having an off night.
Well, I do think, when we shoot the ball, we do get energized on defense. We're much better defensively and rebounding than we were a year ago, but we're still a team that when we make baskets, we have more energy on defense. And last weekend we had a tough time making baskets, so it is important that maybe we take a little bit better shot, make an extra pass so we can knock down those shots. But definitely, we have to get our offense going, and that's one thing with Seattle Pacific is they're very good defensively. They're going to make it very tough. It's not going to get any easier for us offensively Thursday night, so we need to execute and be better.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for the time, and we'll see you Thursday evening when you take on GNAC favorite Seattle Pacific.
Okay, Chris. Thanks.
It was difficult, I think the effort was there. We just seemed to have small lapses. We had one Friday night's game in the 2nd period for a couple minutes. They scored 3 goals on that, and it's tough, battling back after that. But that series is over. Can't do anything about it now. We just got to focus on this weekend in Miami.
It was a couple tough games. We definitely would have liked to get more points than that, but we kept working hard and kept playing our game, and hopefully it'll work out for us next time this weekend against Miami.
I think we're getting a lot of chances. It's just about execution and making sure that we make the most of our chances. And against Miami, they're a tough team defensively. We need to work a lot harder, spread them out, and get a lot of pucks to the net and battle for those rebounds.
The big thing is we got to limit the turnovers. In Northern, we had a few too many turnovers when and we had a lead 2-0 and let that slip away. So we just got to be careful with the puck and work hard and get it in deep and we'll play Nanook hockey.
That 22-hour road trip last week, that really took a lot out of us, and being able to be home for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be a lot of fun. And getting back on our sleeping patterns and eating patterns and stuff like that, so it'll be good for us.
It's good to have two home series here, get rest the bodies a little bit, not have to travel, and get to play at home, which we like to do. So.